Well, hello. Did I just, the show just start?
Just started.
Did I not do the intro?
What happened?
I don't know. Like the whole intro video didn't play. Well, here's the new intro.
A podcast? Did your radio show get canceled?
Hi, Kristen.
Hi, Pete.
Boy, that was exciting. This episode is brought to you by Indiana 529. You know, if you're a parent or an adult and you got a little person in your life, or for that matter, an adult who you want to send to college, you put money into a 529 plan with Indiana 529 Direct or any of their other plans. Kristen, right now, there is a thing with Indiana 529. If you go to myindiana529.com, you can enter a contest to win a $529 contribution to your account. And all you have to do is upload a picture of the person you're saving for. So the question to you is, Kristen, are you uploading a picture of your ultrasound into the website?
I feel like that's what I have to do, right? Is the ultrasound or like, I don't know. I feel like uploading a bump photo would be weird.
Yeah, that's a little.
Like, what do you do?
You know what's weirder is that I have bump photos. Anyway, so go to myindiana529.com, enter the contest to win $529, and that happens by May 29th. Terms and conditions apply. And by all means, when it says, how did you hear about this? Instead of putting radio or go to other and just say Pete. But not like they spelled it Starbucks, which is P-E-A-T. I don't know. I asked for foam, not loam. That is a joke. All right, Kristen, who did one of us, either Dame or I, put more money towards the U gift into your account last week to celebrate your birth announcement? Wait, it's not a birth announcement, right?
It was not a birth.
Nothing, no birth yet.
There's been no birth. No.
We're pre-birth. What's this called? Pregnancy?
That's what most call it, I think. Yeah.
Okay. With child, if you were Mary.
In biblical times.
In biblical times.
She's with child.
So, did someone give more than the other person?
Yes.
Significantly more?
I would, yes.
Okay. My gut was Dame was going to try to figure out exactly what I was going to give and give $1 more. So it doesn't sound like that's what happened.
That isn't what happened. And he did try to do that. He was trying to figure out what you were going to give. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I can't help with this. So.
Oh my gosh. So I gave more. He gave more? No.
You asked.
I knew that was going to happen. Well, now I feel like I got to give. Anyway, hi, everybody. Hello, Andy and Cheryl and Eric and Jason and Big Rick Swink. We need an update on the fitness efforts. It's been a few months now. Well, Kristen, there's nothing more obnoxious than someone talking about their own fitness on the air. But since
you asked,
I mean,
so many people are asking. I've had a lot of questions about this.
Well,
like a real influencer.
As an influencer, let me just say, all right. So, do you want the truth?
Greek yogurt.
It's going very well. All through April, I worked out every weekday in April, and I've so far worked out every weekday in May. I've been going since February. And I'm getting after it. I had leg day today. So feeling better, losing a little bit of, what do they call it, blubber?
Flubber.
Why is it the fat on humans called blubber? Because that's real aggressive.
That is aggressive. That kind of hurts my feelings.
I have a wildly inappropriate idea I'd love to share with you.
I don't know.
Here's the thing. I thought of the laziest job in the world.
Which is?
I think dog breeder. Because you're just sitting on your couch and there's some dogs over there just hugging
You
And
haven't
all of
had
a sudden,
puppy.
you sell the byproduct of the hugging. Like, that's pretty
No.
lazy.
No, you haven't had a puppy in a long time. It is clear.
Well, I mean, I didn't say like taking care of the pup, but you like in terms of how the profit is made, you're sitting on your couch, there's dog love happening. You're doing anything.
I mean, I guess, but I mean, you still have to like take care of adult dogs in order for them to have puppies, and adult dogs are a lot of work.
I don't know how any of this works, but I'm not Googling it either. Kristen, today's show just so oh, Dame's gone. Where is he? No, he's not dead or anything. Where is he? He's not here.
Not here. He took PTO, I guess.
There was some hot goss in the office this week about funeral arrangements. Just like, what do you want? You like that topic?
None of that goes together.
What?
No one's gossiping about someone's funeral arrangements.
I don't know. We're live streaming on Instagram today for some reason.
I'm scared about that.
I don't know. Hey, a lot of you've been asking about where I got this top. It's super cute.
We'll link it.
Well, it's linked below in the link tree. Yeah, I'm just like, I've shared this on this show years ago. I think before you were on it. This is my personal opinion, and it's not reflective of what I think of others. I'll just say this. It feels very selfish to me to buy a burial plot. It's like, you know what? For $600, this piece of land is dedicated to me forever. It just seems, it's like, yeah, I'll move on. You guys keep going. You can have this spot I was going to lay down at. Like, just seems selfish to me. I don't know.
Lay down in it.
Isn't it just weird? It's like in Carmel during the 4th of July festivities, people set their chairs out on the parade route for a week in advance. And they're like, this is my land. Well, when you die and you get buried, you're like, I'm just going to lay here for a while. Yeah. And it's just forever. And then it just seems selfish to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we've talked about that on the show, but I think specifically in the context of in areas where there's not a lot of space. What does that mean? But I mean, to each their own, I guess.
Sure.
I will not be buried.
Yeah. I'm not even freaked out by the concept. It just seems weird. It's like, yeah, burn me. I'm good. Whatever. Like, put me in a sewer. I don't care. I just don't. I literally don't care. But whatever. All right. So maybe a financial show. What are we doing? It was a really good topic.
How to make smart money moves when the world is a dumpster fire, I think is what you called that.
Yes. So there's a lot of things happening in the economy, good, bad, and everywhere in between, or fears of bad.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe the bad's not happening just yet. I don't know. But now people are like delaying decisions they shouldn't delay,
mm-hmm.
and hoping the world shifts around them. So today we're going to just get through this, like being paralyzed by all these moves, and then you're just waiting for something to save you. Talk about that today. So we're going to do a radio show here. New Pope.
Indeed. I did see that.
Ordinary papal. Ordinary people. Papal.
Oh,
No?
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Sent my book to the printer this week.
Oh?
Yeah. Never really talked about that too much.
Mm-mm.
It's a big week around here. A big week around here. I'm exhausted.
Big week around here.
Big week. Your Moneyline, organization that you work for,
mm-hmm.
named the 4th fastest growing company in the entire state of Indiana over the last 2 years. And that's over 600,000 businesses. We were the, what did I say, fifth? Did I say 4th?
I think you said 5.
5th fastest growing business from a revenue perspective, percentage wise, in the state of Indiana. Found out that last night. That's pretty great.
I think it's phenomenal. It's so exciting to be able to be, when you're in it, you're working really hard. We work really hard at Your Moneyline, and just like, not that it necessarily like the external validation, should you or should you not care about it, but like, it is nice.
You don't listen to 80s music or early 90s music, but there's the Walking on Sunshine, Walking on Sunshine, whoa. oh, it's like Ben, our colleague, always whistles it.
Uh-huh.
I was sort of has been going through my head since last night. I'm just sort of like, I'm on cloud nine. I'm like, hey, I'll take 24 hours to feel good. And then I'll go back to 16 over it. Maybe tomorrow.
Fair enough.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah, yes.
3, 2, 1. This week on the Pete the Planner Show, where we answer your money questions. Here's how the show works. Email us, askpete@petetheplanner.com. That's ask with a K. Pete@petetheplanner.com. And, we'll talk about what's going on. We'll talk about your question, and we'll try to give you the best answer we can. We is usually 3, but today we is 2, and it's me and Kristen Elanius. Hello, Kristen.
Hello, Pete.
How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking.
Really? Is that, or is this just like sometimes people are like, how are you? And you're like, I'm good. But I feel like you meant that.
Actually, it was kind of more of the latter on account of this weekend's a big weekend for us, but that's okay.
Fantastic. Well, Kristen, a lot going on in the economy. I think I read a lot of journalistic attempts. I read an article in the New York Times this week that was so true. I was like, wow, they really nailed it. And it was this.
Okay.
There are 1,000 million signs that a recession is on the horizon.
Okay.
Except for the data.
Okay. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Break that down for me. That sounds made up.
No, they're basically like, conditions are ripe for a recession.
Okay.
I maybe think of it like tornadic activity. I don't know. It's like all the conditions are there.
We're under a recession watch.
Yes, we're under a recession watch, but we haven't really tipped over to recession warning yet. That's the best way to think about it.
Love it.
And it's true because, was it last week or last 2 weeks when the jobs report came out,
Last
right?
week. Yeah.
It was shocking.
Mm-hmm.
It was shocking, the number of new jobs in April. And so it's with that it's like, okay, well, we're kind of fine now, but people are delaying their financial decisions, which brings us to this week's topic. Kristen, you are seeing a trend.
Yeah.
In which people are delaying things they shouldn't delay, hoping that policies change and this kicks in or this goes away, and it's not great.
No, it's not, because particularly, we're really near and dear to the student loan space. And Pete, have we talked much about student loans on this show here of late? I don't
Not
think
of
we
late.
have.
We had like years of that's all we talked about.
Right. The Biden-Harris forgiveness, that was like all we talked about. And then it was like, we've talked so much about student loans. We're not going to talk about student loans for like 3 years. But there's a lot going on in the student loan space right now, with the SAVE plan being challenged in the courts, with garnishment coming back when we're talking in default for student loans. And so right now we're seeing so much of people just being like paralyzed by this fear and this indecision. It's hard as a practitioner to maintain empathy in these situations. I'm tripping over my words because I want to be really careful, because I know this is such a loaded topic.
Yeah, it's a tough one, right? By the way, I want to amend a point we started with here, because YouTube live viewer Eric notes a negative quarter doesn't qualify as a recession indicator, because that is data. It does, but it's still, I don't believe it moves into storm warning. I still think it's storm watch. Obviously, this quarter, to this day, we aren't for sure that we're contracting.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and when I say today is the 9th, which is today, May 9th, was the day pointed to as that's when the cargo ships stop coming in, and that is where the challenge can happen. All right. So Kristen, to your point, I did some interview this week, and we were talking about the student loan thing, and they're like, well, what do you think? And I was like, about student loan payments restarting and garnishments possibly happening, and tax refunds being held back to pay off student loan debt. And by the way, Social Security payments being tapped to pay off student loan debts. And I said, yeah. It's uncomfortable. Yeah. Yes. And I don't mean that as like tough love. It's like, yeah, you have debt, and the circumstances of which are different for some people, but not so different for most people. It's, you have a debt, you got to pay it.
Yeah, but you and I talked about this before the show, is like, two things can be true at once. Is you can have incredible empathy and understanding for people who are trying to reintegrate these payments into their life, which, by the way, it's like 4 million borrowers are in late stage delinquency right now. It's a significant number of people. But what you can also understand is that the lack of movement in any direction on this liability is not serving them from a personal finance perspective. And so I have this love-hate relationship with the force function of student loan repayment, because the liability is not going away. It's going to be there. We need to figure out a way to integrate this into our lives.
Here's a dumb metaphor for you. I need to have a sound that says, here's a dumb metaphor for you, because I make enough of them. There used to not be a law in which you had to wear your seatbelt in your car.
Okay.
Right? That wasn't a law. But it made a lot of sense to wear your seatbelt. And people get upset about having to wear their seatbelt. I view this as the same thing with the student loan thing. It's like, yeah, you currently haven't had to deal with the ramifications of being in default, but you should have been dealing with the ramifications of being in default. You should have been making plans. And people can say, I have been making plans, or it's hard. It's like, if we can just calm down. No, you haven't. You haven't. And again, not tough love. It's just reality. It's like you haven't been paying student loans for years in many cases.
Right.
You haven't been making plans. And so, I mean, I don't want this to feel like tough love. It just seems really mechanical to me.
Yeah. And when we're talking about from a hierarchy perspective of liabilities that you have to take seriously, I mean, this one's at the top of the list, Pete.
Yeah. I always thought it was interesting with student loans, and you know way more about student loans than I can ever dream of knowing. But the fact that student loan debt is not dischargeable in bankruptcy.
Right.
And the way that impacts the psyche, that it makes it seem that there's more gravity to student loans. But at the same time, the solution instead of just filing bankruptcy, or people are like, I'm just not going to pay it. I'm just going to go into default. If you go into default on anything else, the tow truck's coming. You know what I mean? That's the weird nature of this. Your house is getting a takeaway. Your Mazda 626 is getting hooked up and sent off. But your college education can't be discharged in bankruptcy. It's quite strange.
Yeah, it's an unsecured liability, meaning there's not an asset that backs it. To your point, they're not taking your diploma away from you, or they can't pull the knowledge back out of your head, but you can't get rid of it. And so that's where it's like this force function is really what this is, of pushing you into repayment because it's not going anywhere, is something that my team in particular at Your Moneyline, we're kind of excited about. Like, they're really hard conversations, but the reality is the emotional impact of knowing that that liability is back here in the background and I've not done anything with it weighs on people so much. So let's face this. Let's see what the reality of the situation is. Let's make the payments and let's get these student loans behind us.
Yeah, this entire show this week on the Pete the Planner Show, talking about waiting for the world to change. Who's waiting for the world to change? Who sings that song?
I don't know who sings that, to be honest with you.
Man, asking you pop culture things is something that I should have learned over the last several years. Yeah. This is so common. Back when I was a financial planner, their strategy was, I'm waiting for the world to change around me so I don't have to change and do something. That's what this show's about this week. Obviously, we just touched on people waiting to the last second to put John Mayer. There it is, Tom. Thank you. People dealing with the student loan ramification. So coming up after the break, more of this. What other elements are people just waiting for the world to change and then dealing with it from there? That's next on the Pete the Planner Show. I'm Pete the Planner. I claim to not be a concert person because I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I did go to a John Mayer concert once like right before he was really famous.
Of all the concerts.
This is like, I think this is true. I think it's true. But this was like right before it was like the Pepsi Coliseum in like the fairgrounds in Indianapolis. My wife listened to him or something. And so we went. I think that's true.
Do you need a fact checker on you, like on a presidential debate?
But at least I'm acknowledging that it might not be true.
Might
but
not
I
be true.
think it's true.
Okay. That's fair.
Really bad memory about stuff like that. I would call Mrs. Planner, but she is busy today.
And calling her on the air twice this calendar year already is probably not the best move.
Did we do that?
I think that was this year.
I don't know. Anyway, big weekend for you, moving into your place.
Yeah.
And more than anything, it's the very first
Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
I did not see that coming.
Oh, yeah. Set you up. Now, got some feedback this week on whether this baby voice is too weird.
Mm-hmm.
Your family members are like, yeah, I don't love that.
Yeah, my sister wasn't a big fan.
Oh, Auntie Caitlin. AK, as they call her in the biz. Anyway, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Are you celebrating Mother's Day this Sunday? I mean, serious question. Like,
I mean, I haven't really thought too much about it. Yes, good call, Caitlin. I haven't really thought too much about it, to be honest, just because we are under such fire to get out of the condo. Probably not.
I'm so excited for you to send pics of the new place. So when can I get you the donkeys?
Okay,
Have you
so
thought about this?
I have thought about this, and so we do not currently have fence for the donkeys. So we have to have fence for the cows and the donkeys. And I also got 2 goats for my birthday that need a fence. So we're gonna, and we really might need a donkey for real because last night the coyotes were very, very loud at the new house. So
Okay.
time out.
Time out.
What? Okay, so okay, here's what I've heard.
Go on.
The coyotes are loud.
Right.
We need a jackass. What in the world? I don't know what are those things. Coyotes are loud. I love cheese. Like these things don't feel connected.
That or we need a Great Pyrenees.
What?
Well, because
What's Egypt have to do with any of this?
so our cows are cow calf, meaning that we intentionally have cows that have babies. And that's important because babies are, they can be susceptible to predators, which is a coyote.
Yes, that's true.
So the donkeys ideally protect the smaller animals from coyotes.
I mean, we may just quit the radio and just do this. What is it? Does a donkey know martial arts? Like, what is a donkey doing to protect a cow calf?
A calf, the babies, because the babies can't protect themselves. They're small.
So what do the donkeys do? They bite them?
I don't know what donkeys do.
I'm so good.
I've never had one.
Is it like putting mothballs in your garden so it keeps away,
Yes.
like whatever?
Yes, we will line the perimeter fence with donkeys.
Have you thought about getting a blow up donkey? And just like, you know, how sometimes you can get a fake owl to keep things away?
Yeah, actually, we're just going to put the Amazon Echo out in the pasture and just like play donkey noises. Yeah.
Would you like me to record some right now?
No.
Donkey's kick, says Rick Swink.
I mean, perhaps. I just know that I have heard that that is something that you can do. I mean, a lot of people have like guardian dogs too, but we don't need more dogs. So.
Donkey Maga. Is that like Krav Maga? That was Dance's joke. I'm taking my parents to dinner tonight for Mother's Day with my family. And so, you know, I get obsessed with menus.
Right.
And I can't let it go. And I'm annoying my entire family. But we're trying to guess what my parents are going to order for dinner. I don't know, because this is entertaining to me. What's it like to actually have a life, Kristen?
I mean, I'm obsessed with menus too. I get it, but I wouldn't go as far as to say that I was going to guess what my parents are going to eat at a restaurant.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I just get entertained by these things. One last note before we do the radio show. Last night at this awards banquet, of which we were named the fifth fastest growing company in the state. Anyway, guess how much parking was in the garage, self-park at the JW Marriott for the event? There's no other real event going on, but just guess how much parking was.
Like there was somebody there taking your cash, or like it was by the hour and you paid on your way out?
No, it's flat rate in that garage.
$30.
$75. I could have bought you a donkey.
I don't think so, but $75 is significant.
I didn't park there. Someone told me beforehand. I was like, not today. Not today.
That's insane. Valet parking overnight at several hotels in India is like $40.
Listener of all time, best listener of all time, Jameson, the man whose car gets in accidents without him. You must Google videos of the donkey with the squeaky toy. That little dude cracks me up. Okay.
A new YouTube rabbit hole for Pete.
Danza says I should have Ubered, but here's the problem. I get car sick if I'm not driving and I'm in a car instantly. Life is hell. Parking, traffic, car sickness.
Yeah.
Oh, what did I say before the show started?
That you don't want to be here too long because you have an 11:15 and you thought this would be a 50-minute show.
In 3, 2, 1. Back on the Pete the Planner show, talking about waiting for the world to change instead of just doing what you're supposed to do financially. Kristen, I remember, picture this. I remember when I had hair and I was a financial advisor, people not saving or not wanting to save for a college education because they thought it's just so expensive. It's got to come down. And then that was the justification for not doing anything. That's an example of this, right?
It's a perfect example of this. And we still hear that to this day. Like,
do you really?
Something's going to have to change with the way we pay for college because this is unaffordable. And it's like, well, the solution back then was to just like let parents borrow unlimited amounts of debt on behalf of their kids. And now we have a pre-retirement crisis. So maybe we shouldn't bank on that.
What do you think about how people do this from a retirement perspective? Do you think people put off properly preparing for retirement because they expect a system to change? Because to me, if that is the case, if there's an example of this, it might be the most unrealistic expectation given that pensions have gone away and Social Security is struggling and cost of living is going up. So all indicators are that retirement's going to get harder, not mystically easier.
See, I feel like the pushback that I get when I'm talking to someone about the importance of saving for retirement is like, well, I won't live to see the money, or I'll just work until I'm dead, or how am I going to save that money now because I can barely make ends meet? I think it's more about like this lack of understanding of just how expensive it can be to be in, like, to need those funds in retirement. I don't know that it's necessarily a delay or like waiting for a system to change in the retirement space.
Yeah, I think you hit a nerve with me on I'm just going to have to work till I'm dead.
Right.
There is a give up in that. It's slightly irrational.
So irrational.
Yeah, slightly was.
You can't.
Yeah. It's like, I'm just going to have to work till I die, because logically it's not real, because you will likely have to stop working before you have to stop breathing. And then there's this gap that isn't funded.
Right. Statistically, that is true. And then you're exactly right. Is like, then what do you do in what could be the most expensive years of your life without a source of income?
And then this gets into a whole other episode, which is when you make your financial challenges someone else's problems. Oh man, I'm trying to be I feel tough love Terry going on
You're
today.
kind of tough today.
I don't want, I mean, I'm a soft boy. But I don't mean to like be accusatory, but there's this idea that the more you say things like, I'm just gonna have to work till I'm dead, because that's heinously unrealistic. I mean, it works 3% of the time, made up statistic. It's guaranteed that you're going to make your problem someone else's problem.
Yeah, it's someone else's problem. It's either your spouse who did save, but you weren't having those conversations about retirement. It's your children who feel like they have to find a way to help care for you, whether that's physically or financially, if the resources aren't there. It does. It becomes someone else's problem because the reality is today you have the ability to make the decision to save for retirement, but future you might not have the ability to make the decision to keep working.
Here's a dumb example. What if investing in crypto and crypto alone is a version of this of I don't want to go the traditional way of building wealth with disciplined, investing over time. I want a dynamic, speculative explosion of value via crypto, and that's my plan. That's a version of this.
It is. And I don't know how much you remember or how much this was prevalent for you, but in like 2016, I feel like the version of that we saw a lot of was marijuana stock. We saw like lots of penny stock, people investing in these like, hey, this is going to be the next big company. Like the legalization is coming. And it was like a mini version. It wasn't nearly as big of crypto where people were trying to make up for that lost time or the dollars they hadn't invested along the way.
How does a person, because we're not trying to be accusatory today, we're trying to explore these ideas. Like, how does a person check themselves or avoid this mentality? I got to think it's about controlling what you can control and not just giving agency to things that you can't control.
Absolutely. Good. I say this all the time. Good medicine is still good medicine. You still need an emergency fund. You still need to be saving for retirement. You still need to be saving for your child's education. And there's this hierarchy of things that, as your funds become available to you, then you can lean into them a little bit greater. So like maybe that entry level is you want to pay off that unsecured debt. You want to fund that emergency fund. And the next level is fully funding that retirement account and then the child's college account and then your HSA. But those things are still good medicine, regardless of whatever political turmoil we feel like we're among.
How much do you think this is about shirking responsibility or intellectual dishonesty when a person struggles with these things?
Can you say more?
I'll start with intellectual dishonesty. Like, if I look at myself in the mirror and say, I'm going to play in the World Cup when it's in the US next year, that's intellectually dishonest.
True.
No matter what level of vim and vigor I still have left in these bones. If you look at a situation, we'll go with the student loan thing, right? Of not paying your student loan payments. And you just say, something will work its way out. And that is intellectually dishonest because that's not the way things actually work. It is not a functional possibility. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, I see what you mean. And I think that that's totally the mindset of a subset of borrowers is like these obligations are between the government and the Lord. They're not even my responsibility anymore. I forgot about them. I wrote them off a long time ago. What will be. And we do see that.
Yeah, it is really interesting. I was a different interview this week, and someone said, well, President, yeah, this was this morning, actually. It was like at 5:30 a.m., so I don't barely remember. It was like, question was, President Trump says the stock market's about to take off. What should people know about that? By the way, in doing this, there's a side-by-side, the way they shot, just the way our show is shot right now, side by side, two shots, like you and me. So they're playing this clip on the news this morning. It's me and then a clip of the president talking in the Oval Office, which is just a weird visual
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, why am I in a two shot with the president? It doesn't make any sense.
Don't care for this.
Very surreal and strange. And it was like, well, what is a person to do if the president says the stock market's about to go up? And I'm like, ignore him? Like,
Not care.
No, yeah, exactly. It was like that. Oh, good. I'll take the hundreds of thousands of dollars I have sitting on the sideline and now put it into the market. It's like the average person isn't investing, first of all. Second of all, you should be preparing for the worst, not figuring out ways to squeak by massive gains just in case the president is right.
Yeah, because I think case in point is, I don't know about you, Pete. I perhaps I'm setting you up to fail here, but do you know what I have done as far as change in my retirement contribution?
Nothing.
Nothing. I've done
Nothing.
nothing. It's all the same.
It's so, I don't know. I don't want to get into economics of this whole thing. I feel like I talk. Well, that's what navigating now is for, right? That's
Comcast.
That's what that is for. I thought of that this morning. By punting to the
Comcast.
I don't have to talk about it as much with you guys because I know you guys don't like talking about it with me. So
It is a reprieve for us. It's true.
it is. I'm help me help you, Queen. All right, coming up after the break. What is the actual cost of waiting? Maybe if we quantify it for people, they'll stop waiting for no reason. All that is next right here on the Pete the Planner Show. I'm Pete the Planner. How are we doing time-wise? We're okay. We're okay.
We're fine.
We could still be okay. My man, Brian Pinkins, says both my parents have gone back to work at the age of 71 and 68 with the purpose of getting by financially. Dad's working at Costco. My mom is working remotely in a telemarketing role. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But by the way, good for them in the now, right?
Yeah.
Amazing for them in the now.
Yeah, making that hard decision instead of, delaying that to say, hey, we realize this math isn't mathing, but just not making a decision. So
Andy notes doing some is better than doing nothing, but a lot of people fear that they can't fix it all, so they stay in denial. Boy, that's the truth. There's a binary action to this, right? Of like, I can't do it perfect, so I'm not going to do it at all. That, first of all, that would not work here in Moneyline, but that does not work in reality either.
yeah, and I feel for that. I'm someone who struggles with that. I want to be doing the best I can at everything that I'm trying to do. And so, yeah, it's hard.
Craig P. Anderson, of course, wants a student loan discussion. Yes, you missed the student loan discussion, Craig. Sorry. That's what happens by being late. That's what you get. We're just a podcast.
A podcast? Did your radio show get canceled?
Not yet,
No,
but it's going to.
someday.
I've talked to you about. Doesn't it look like my hand's gonna come through the divider of the screen here and like reach into the side of your head?
Yeah.
If I heard that anyway, visual. Show is gonna get canceled. The radio show will get canceled. My column will stop being run. This podcast, no one's gonna give a darn about it at some point. I'm okay with all three of those.
Yeah.
That's why some people, like you think of like a Peyton Manning, probably could have gone a couple more years with a taped together draft neck, but won the Super Bowl, he's like, peace, I'm out.
Yeah.
What if we do something good? And I'm just like, let's just end it there. Because that's more my style. And then be like,
that's
just
funny.
be done here. Craig, you were not doing work. Okay, Craig's like, I work. No, you weren't. You weren't working. We know that. You were brunching. Okay. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Back on the Pete the Planner Show. Hope you're having a good Mother's Day weekend listening on the radio all over the Midwest. Whether you're off to see your mother or you're with your mother now or you're thinking of your mother, hope you're having a good day and you have nice memories of her. Kristen, we're talking about the cost of waiting, making financial decisions, or more appropriately, not making financial decisions because you expect big changes to occur. And then now you've waited and you've lost opportunity. How does a person begin to quantify the cost of waiting to make these decisions that are so important?
As you teased that when we headed into the break, I was thinking about the fact that since you've known me, which is actually the majority of my adult life at this point, by the
What? No, don't, because
way.
I don't know how that makes me feel old, but it does. What does that even mean? How long have we known each other?
I've worked at YML for 6 years and some change now. I think.
Okay, but when you say adult life,
18.
and now your age. Oh, okay, I got you. 18's when your adult life starts.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, you're factually accurate. Anyway, since I've known you,
since you've known me, this is the third house that I've purchased. And I distinctly remember when I was going to buy a house like 6 years ago, you and Dame were like, well, I don't really know if that's a good decision because everybody was so scared of the housing market. And I'm not going to say that there wasn't risk involved. You have to still make really intentional decisions in some of these spaces, but like kind of worked out for me.
Dame was wrong.
Dame was actually the one who was like the most against it.
I don't remember what I said. Here's one for you. We got a bunch of college grads flooding the job market here. Actually grabbing one or two of them ourselves. We have 2 college grads starting next month here at Your Money Line. What about the idea that it's so common for a new college grad or someone just entering the job market, I should say, for the first time to say, I'll figure out retirement later because it'll be easier to figure out later?
Gosh, so much. Like, I get it, right? Even as someone who majored in personal finance and financial planning as an undergrad, graduate college, you're faced with this decision of how much do you invest? What do you invest it in? I also have to choose my student loan payment. I have a car payment for the first time. It's so many decisions that you have to make at once when you're pushed out into full-time employment. But the cost of waiting, especially because you and I both know it's not going to be like a 6-month delay.
No, it's years.
Yeah, it's maybe you're going to think about it again at the next open enrollment, maybe. And that's just going to be, oh, I should have done that. Not that you're actually going to make change and invest. That can cost thousands and thousands of dollars over the course of your career.
I have no data, but I think what more likely happens or more often happens is that a person goes to their first job, which is usually like 2 years, right? Then they go to their second job, and that's when they possibly save. And those 2 years of, let's call it $10,000 total, will have a 6-figure impact or lack of 6-figure impact on your retirement. And I don't know, I'm showing my old guy here, but every once in a while you run into a young industrious person, aka someone your age, and they'll say something to the effect of, yeah, I actually started putting 20% of my income away because my dad told me to when I started my career, and now I'm 30 and I have $215,000. And you just hear that, and it's amazing. It's shocking. And you know that person's head is screwed so tightly on their shoulders.
Yeah, that was some of the best advice I ever got as I was leaving my undergrad. Was I had a professor, his name was Jay, and he told us all, he was like, some of you are in this major, some of you are going into financial planning, some of you aren't, you're just taking this class to because you needed another course, but when you step out into your full-time work, you'll never have made as much money as you're going to be making in that moment. So you're not going to miss it. Just sign up, contribute the dollars, and just make that a practice. Make that part of who you are as a full-time working adult.
I had a one-on-one maybe a month ago with our intern, Abby. We were just having a Zoom call or whatever. And I don't get to talk to her much, right? Just based on our different roles. But she's just saying, like, she really kind of fell in love with personal finance as a college student and it finds it fascinating and everything she gets to observe at Your Money Line. And after getting off the phone with her or the Zoom, because there's no such thing as a phone anymore, I thought, man, she's so set up because she knows exactly what to do. And I was jealous. I was like, man, I wish I were you, because I think it eliminates some of the 20s are hard. They're really hard. There are a lot of survival sort of feelings there. But I feel like if you get the basics down, you're going to avoid a lot of the things because you can't afford to get in trouble.
Yeah. And to your point, if you're not someone who's taking these courses or majoring in this space, you don't likely have any sort of formal education on the importance of retirement or compound interest. And so I think it's our job collectively, and I mean you, the listener, too, because as someone tuning into this program, you're learning more about personal finance than your peers for sure, is to say to the college grad that you know, like, hey, what does your retirement package look like at your work? Like, do you have any questions? Do you need any help? Because even telling someone about the importance of contributing, 10% of their income to retirement might be the most personal finance education that college students had to date.
As we try to get rid of the paralysis that comes with over analyzing financial decisions or the expectation that procedures and policies change to benefit you, it makes me think about these quote I'm currently obsessed with that I bring up in team meetings and probably on the show last week and in interviews and everywhere I can think of. Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. Maya Angelou. That is the antithesis of being paralyzed with indecision. It's to like, okay, I'm just going to do something. I'm going to do it.
Mhm.
It's not going to be perfect. I'm just going to do it. And then you were going to make a mistake. You're going to get like something's going to go wrong. And then you're like, okay, I'm learning from that. That doesn't mean I shouldn't have acted. It just means I just now need to navigate a little differently.
Yeah, exactly. Like that, the retirement contribution space. I mean, that's like when you hear about someone who started putting dollars into their retirement account, but they never chose the investments. So it's sitting in cash. And it's like, oh,
That's the best example ever.
like bummer. But I mean, the money's still in the 401k. Like you still have it. So, I mean, not the best case scenario, but you still are in the practice of saving.
Kristen, literally the best example
Thank you.
ever on the show. That's so the number of times that I've seen that. I haven't thought about that in years.
Mhm.
But man, is that crazy common. You're like, okay, someone told me about this 401k, which seems like a long running race, but I'll try it. And you go in there and I'm putting money in this money market. I don't know what a money market is, but I'm going to put it there. And then 5 years later, you know more stuff. You go, oh yeah, let me go look. And you're like, oh, I actually wasn't in the market at all. Oh, it's so true. Great call.
So true.
All right. So here's our charge. Do you want to give the pep talk here in the last minute or do you want me to?
I think it's all you, man.
So listen, Gary. First, change your name to Gary. I get it. Indecision can wreck you, and fear and embarrassment and shame can keep you from acting. But taking control of things by doing what you can do is so much better than waiting for large government or national policies to change to somehow benefit you. It's frankly unrealistic to expect the government to come and save you with policy when in fact you just have to buckle down and get going. I don't think anyone would win a second half if that was the halftime speech, Kristen.
No.
Should have used profanity. All right, let's do this. Coming back after the break, one of the weirdest, biggest waste of money of the week I've ever considered, and I almost want to buy it because it's so weird. That's next on the Pete the Planner Show. I'm Pete the Planner. We're actually going to finish at a decent time today.
It's true. Despite all of the talk about the new house and the menus and the donkey and you voicing my unborn child.
And the dog breeding. Like
We've been around
what is wrong?
a lot, frankly.
So you know me well enough. I think you might know this about me. I don't know. Do you know this about me? I care about impressing my wife. Like I don't do it often. It's been a decade or so. But it's what I like it. I don't know. I just want her to be somehow impressed with what I'm doing. And whether it's a joke or a meal or she's not impressed by a single business accomplishment of mine. So I don't even try there. It's just like I want to impress her. And my current psychosis around this has me quoting Maya Angelou all the time now. She loves Maya Angelou. And so like I was speaking at a thing on Wednesday downtown and I was like, as Maya Angelou said, and I'm like, what is wrong with it? She's not even in the room, but I want her to
listen.
Yeah, she's not going to listen to this. She wasn't in the room at the convention center. And I'm just like, I just walk around expecting someone to go, hey, I saw Peter and he was quoting Maya Angelou. And I don't know. I don't know why I'm doing it.
That's so funny.
Does your special friend, does he like to impress you?
No,
No?
I don't think so.
He impresses me. Does he like to impress me?
Yes, he actually cares. Like when he finds out that you guys say stuff about like me or him on the show, he'll always be like, "Oh, well, tell Pete." And I'm like, you tell Pete.
Yeah. He should definitely not care what I think, but he's an impressive fella. Do you try to impress him?
Yes. His opinions. I care a lot about what a lot of people think. So the fact that he's my person, I care the most about what he thinks.
That's nice. That sounds like a card. Write that in a card, like a 3x5 note card, like a flash card.
I'll put it in his lunch.
His lunch. You don't make his lunch.
A lot of the time I do.
You do?
Yeah.
This is so sweet.
And I write a little note.
Oh my gosh, I'm in love now. What do the notes say? Like, good luck with that.
Good luck. Hope you're enjoying your 75th hour of work this week. Yeah.
Say hello to that one cow.
No.
That's sweet. Look at you. You're a romantic. Who knew?
I try.
Well, I'm not saying you're failing. I didn't picture you as a note in the lunchbox sort of lady.
Oh, well, my mom wrote a note in my lunch every single day, my entire childhood. So it just has like carried over, I think.
I'll do that to my kids, but I'll write super weird stuff. Just super weird stuff. Like, I hope you brought an extra pair of underwear or something like that. They'll be at the lunch table and they'll open it and they'll shut it real fast. It did occur to me this week or this past weekend, I was going somewhere quickly and I had to leave the house and I'm going to the garage door and my wife's in the kitchen and I was like, I said something just stupid weird, just wild. I don't even know what it was. It was just chaotic. It was like weird. And I left and I was like, what if I die? And people were like, well, what were his last words to you? And then she had to repeat whatever dumb thing I said.
If someone had a like true like parting interaction with you, the last words you said to them were good luck with your life.
Good luck with your life is usually how that's a good way to part.
Like
when I leave the office every day, I just shout, good luck with your lives. And it sounds like I'm abandoning our coworkers. But on some level, I'm like, I mean it. Good luck.
Oh. And hey, if something were to happen to you on your way home, you don't show up to work, everybody's going to know that.
You know what he told me? Good luck with my life. How selfless is that?
That's so bad.
Is it always this chaotic when Dame's not here?
Not usually, no.
I'm a little jacked up today.
Yeah, I'm only here for a half day today, so I have a little more energy too. Like I'm ready.
I also feel like you haven't been feeling well, and you sound like you feel so much better now.
Oh my gosh, I feel so much better. I still have this like residual cough thing going on, but like I'm not getting sick every day, and I'm not coughing all the time. So,
you getting kicked and stuff yet? Like
not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I don't know how the human body works.
She's not that big yet. She only weighs like 6 ounces, I think.
Did you do the whole like, oh, she's the size of an avocado? Do you do that whole thing yet?
Well, I have an app. I don't know what she is today. Last week was an onion.
What kind of onion? Like a Vidalia?
I know, that's
like
what I said.
Onion.
I'm like, onions. She's not like a pearl onion.
She's like a pearl onion.
She was a pearl onion weeks ago, but I don't know what the fruit or vegetable is because it changes today.
Onion is wholly unhelpful.
Agreed, because onions are, well, all fruits and vegetables are wholly unhelpful. One of the weeks is a cucumber. I'm like, that's not helpful.
That's not the shape of a baby. Who came up with this?
I don't know, the What to Expect app.
That's the shape of a cat. It's like a cat. It's a baby. It's a human.
But yeah, I think she weighs like 6 ounces. So
Do you think the dogs know yet?
Kahlua definitely knows. Yeah, she is like glued to me.
That's
Mojo has no clue.
I totally buy that. That's just like amazing, animals are like that.
She is like, normally she doesn't really care too much about me. She prefers my person. She prefers all men over me, actually. And she is like glued to me.
Just think how lazy her breeder though was. I don't know if I have dog breeders in the audience, or I used to have dog breeders in the audience.
Yeah, not anymore.
I don't know what's wrong today. Okay, let's do this. Oh, I'm not ready for this. Oh man, who has time? Okay. Jameson says he remembers the old What to Expect app. It was a book back when he and I became fathers, not with, each other's children. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not what I want. I'm working on it. Sorry, everybody. I am an old man and I cannot think or see. Trying to get the biggest waste of money of the week. I'm going to butcher it. All right, we're just going with it. We're going to just deal with it. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. This week's biggest waste of money of the week right here on the Pete the Planner show is the pizza caviar bump box. Caviar continues to pop up in inventive highbrow, lowbrow pairings at spots across the country. Pizza Hut has taken notice and has put its own spin on the trend with the pizza caviar bump box, a play on the brand's My Hut box. It includes 1 cheese personal pan pizza and either 3 boneless wings or fries, all topped with pepperoni flavored pizza caviar style pearls made from pepperoni flavored water and agar agar. So nice, they named it twice. A highly limited time item. It will be available exclusively on the 8th Avenue Pizza Hut in New York City. Kristen, so this isn't actual fish eggs, just so you know.
It is not.
It is not actual fish eggs. It is like think of like a boba, but it's made with like pizza flavored water and like seaweed, agar agar. What do you think?
I would eat this, first of all.
Oh, I kind of want to try it.
I think it's kind of cool.
Do you like caviar?
No, but I'd be willing to try it. Well, I've never had it. I shouldn't say no,
Okay.
but I would be willing to try it in this context. I feel like there was a time to try, even flavored, even if it's not real caviar,
Sure.
It is in the form of pizza.
What do you think this costs?
This costs, I have no context. This costs $90.
$25.
What? It's a steal.
It is a steal, super limited. Yeah. I mean, and as far as caviar goes, it's a drop in the bucket. It's $20, not 25, whatever I said. By the way, speaking of biggest waste of money of the week, previously on this, we had the T-Rex bottle opener, which both Dame purchased and apparently Big Rick Swink, and he used it for the first time.
You should have been getting a commission on those, apparently.
How often do you think people buy the biggest waste of money of week item over the last 15 years?
I mean, obviously the totally egregious ones like that cruise ship or whatever that one time. No. But like the reasonably priced stuff, I bet things get purchased not infrequently.
Kristen, what is in the news this week?
The Fed isn't in the circus, but it's definitely walking a tightrope.
Oh.
Can I get a timeout on my own story?
Everybody was talking about Molly.
No, that's not the one.
No, that's not it. Oh, that's not. Oh, no.
Time out.
There we go.
Thank you. I did not write that joke. Okay. This is Dame put the news together. I did not write that.
That seemed very Dame.
I did not write that.
Okay. Fed's walking a tightrope.
The Fed's in the circus. Anyway, the central bank held interest rates steady at 4.25% to 4.5% as expected. Fed Chair Jerome Powell says they're in a wait and see mode, watching data roll in before making any big moves, especially with Trump's proposed tariffs looming overhead. Trump, not known for his subtleties, called Powell, quote, a total stiff unquote, and renewed calls for rate cuts, though he backed off past threats to fire him. Powell, for the most part, says political pressure has no effect at all on Fed decisions.
It's got to be tough to hear the president trash talk you like that. I mean, me personally,
Pete's doing a great job. Everybody's happy with him.
I've never experienced it. Though, here's the thing. If he's ever consumed an ounce of my content in which I'm observing his policies, it probably would not speak generously of me.
Probably not. He'd probably he'd probably copyright your clip.
Yeah. I will say this, though. I found myself really agreeing with some stuff. So it's like okay, I agree. Well, yes. What?
I'm just surprised.
Well, no, I mean, look, I try to be intellectually honest occasionally. I agree with the student loan repayment thing starting. I absolutely 100% agree with that. And I don't even think it's like this mean-spirited thing. It's just like, yeah, that makes sense. And that's it. Okay, what else is in the news?
Speaking of student loans,
I know.
Student loan collections are officially back. For the first time since the COVID era pause began in March of 2020, the federal government has resumed collecting on defaulted student loans. If you've missed payments for more than 270 days, Uncle Sam may now start pulling money from your tax refund, wages, or other federal benefits. This is a growing problem with over 5 million borrowers in default, another 4 million in late-stage delinquency, and only about 1/3 of federal loan holders made regular payments during the pause, according to the Department of Education. Getting sent to collections isn't just stressful, it's expensive. A default can tank your credit score by up to 171 points per the New York Fed, making it harder to borrow or rent in the future.
To the point of our entire episode, if people are in default and they just heard exactly what you said, don't wait. Don't wait. Just start now.
Right. Go to studentaid.gov, put your income information in, try to get on an income-based repayment. If you think that payment's too high or you need to rehab your loan, particularly if you can rehab your loan, you can fill out a form that has your other expenses on it. Like, you have options, but you have to take that first step. Studentaid.gov. Know what your liability looks like.
Oh my God. The more you know. Doon, 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 doon. Man,
To help.
you're on fire today.
I'm just trying to help.
So the direction, go to studentaid.gov.
Right.
Log into your account. You get your file. What's that thing called?
You can get your national student loan file, but if you're just looking to figure out what your monthly payment's going to be, they have a loan simulator tool, and you can put in your income information. It'll take all of your student loan liability, and it gives you different repayment options, whether based on your income, based on a specific amount of time. You have options.
I feel if I almost want student loans so I can do that.
Yeah.
That's not cool at all. I'm sorry. What else is in the news?
Here's a little more lighthearted one for you.
Oh,
A
good.
Kentucky mom got a crash course in childproofing and candy logistics after her 8-year-old son placed a $4,000 Amazon order for lollipops. Holly says her son Liam was just trying to plan a neighborhood carnival, as one 8-year-old does. And naturally, he figured step one was ordering 70,000 dum-dums. He was using her phone, and by the time she noticed, 22 cases of suckers had arrived on her doorstep. When I saw the total, I just about fainted, she said. Turns out the order wasn't even complete. 8 more cases were still out there in postal limbo, and after a trip to the post office and a few conversations with her bank, she managed to get everything returned and her money refunded. Amazon, to their credit, eventually called and made it right as well.
How much was the bill on that?
$4,000.
Oh my gosh. First of all, that's terrible. Man, lollipops are cheap. That's a lot of lollipops for $4,000.
Well, he bought them in bulk. The son bought them by the case. So I imagine there was quite the discount per unit.
There's so many bad jokes here that I'm not even going to do it. I can't. It just feels way too cheap.
Perhaps not.
Anything else in the news?
Yeah, a little bit shorter one. Warren Buffett is stepping down, and this is for real this time. At 94, the legendary investor closed out Berkshire Hathaway's annual meeting by announcing he'll step down as CEO by year's end. The news stunned the crowd and his successor, who hadn't been told in advance.
That sounds like something I would do at an all-team meeting, just announce something.
You're just like, you go, okay, and actually, I'm going to step down, so Molly's going to take over, and you just like walk out.
And Molly'd be like,
Beautiful, wonderful, incredible.
yeah, oh man. All right. So that's it for the show, right? This is going to be a long outro, but happy Mother's Day, all moms out there. I appreciate all you do. If you get a chance, you got some free clicks left, go to the IBJ.com, Indianapolis Business Journal, search Pete the Planner. I wrote a special Mother's Day column about how mothers really sort of, with so much of their love and attention and time, and in some cases money, were the ultimate in budgeters and really taught you how to deal with resources when you're a kid. So check that out. Kristen, we of course want people to subscribe to the podcast, just wherever you get your podcast. I'm going to try to get our show simulcast on Spotify, the video as well as the audio, like some very popular podcasts are, but I got to do that some other time. I'll figure it out. Anyway, Kristen, have a good weekend. Sending good vibes, because good vibes are all that's in the budget. I'm Pete the Planner. This is the Pete the Planner Show. Okay.
The column was really good, by the way.
Thank you.
I really liked it.
Thanks for saying that. You know who's not going to read it?
Your mom?
No, my wife. But I said nice things about my wife.
Oh,
I think I did. But that's the thing about being a guy, is like, I was like, oh, I think this is nice. And then she'll read it and she'll be like, why did you say that? I'm like, I'm trying to be nice. I don't know how to do it.
I think the nice things you said about her, if I recall, were in the form of your shortcomings.
So are you suggesting those aren't nice things?
Well, I can't.
No, I said she was incredibly selfless and dependable. Like that's.
Yes. And I think I'm conflating that with also last week we had a discussion about like the domestic labor. I might be conflating those two conversations, actually. That might be my fault.
Yeah. Hey, I gotta go.
Same.
Good luck with your life. Good luck with moving.
Thank you.
Good luck with the donkeys. I don't know. All right, that's it. Stay getting money.
Get ready for full throttle coverage as we shift into high gear for Business at the Brickyard, presented by Liuna with support from the City of Westfield and Daniel's Family Vineyard and Winery. We're giving you the inside track on the powerful connection between motorsports and the Indiana economy. Join us at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for exclusive interviews, behind-the-scenes access, and the stories that drive the business of motorsports. So buckle up and join us for Emmy Award-winning Business at the Brickyard coverage all month long.